so great that other things fall by the wayside at times. So I understand that. I'm one of the few that can understand the mindset that he played with and the journey from high school to the NBA. So it's just a thing that that I carry with me. Like I said, every time I decide at one point in that locker room before the game when I throw that jersey on.
Allie? All right, you want to go with Kyle?
LeBron, obviously, you've done games like this a lot in your career. You've had sequences like you had in the fourth quarter. But at where you're at in your career, at your age, do you find yourself maybe just savoring these moments more than when you were younger?
I don't, unfortunately. I wish I did. They happen so fast.
Yeah.
And my mind is still so locked in on the journey that it's hard for me to take in and appreciate what we just accomplished. It's just how I've always been. And I always say that, when I'm done playing a game, hopefully I can, I'll look back on it and enjoy it then. Hopefully I will. Hopefully I can, hopefully. Because I don't think I enjoy it enough when I'm in it, because I'm so engulfed in the process until the final call. But I'm so damn proud of this team and where we are right now, up until this date.
Dave McMenamin?
Oh, y'all sneaking here. Oh, okay.
So, the nature of your accomplishments has had you compared to other greats of the game for a long time. But you've insisted, I'm my own guy, it's my story. So what about the fact that,
Anh có coi rồi. Em có coi mấy cái đó rồi. Em có coi mấy cái video clip rồi.
And what has that meant to you to kind of blaze your own trail as a superstar or whatever?
I don't know. I've never looked at it that way. I never said, okay, I want to, cast myself as a superstar or whatever the case may be. I just want to travel my own journey because it is my journey, and I've appreciated, everything that's happened along the way. And throughout, the ups, the downs, the ups on the court, the downs on the court, the wins, the losses. But I've been able to, I guess as Frank Sinatra would say, I did it my way, And at the end of the day and at the end of my career, I just hope that I inspired enough people to want to play the game the right way, and have that respect from all the opponents that I played against, all the teams that I played against, and the organizations that I play for. Because at the end of the day, that's all you have is your respect.
Rachel?
NBA Finals basically been LeBron James' rotation the last decade. I'm trying to picture what you were doing at this time, during the NBA Finals last year, and how that affected your continued determination to get back.
Well, it all depends what game we're talking about. There were a couple games where I was at home. There was one or two games where I was in Cabo. And there was a couple games where I was at a hookah lounge during the finals last year. That's the truth. I wasn't smoking hookah, but I was there. And
Was the game on or no?
yes, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't have went. Yeah, the game was on in Cabo. The game was on in my house and at the hookah lounge, and I watched every single minute of the games until it stopped. I actually watched every single postseason game last year. I think I told Dave that. I watched every single postseason game, and part of me, I'm just a fan of the game. I love the sport. I love the competitive nature. I love the playoffs, and then also of saying oh, I wish I was in this moment. What would I have did at that moment? What I would have made, what play would I would have made in that moment. you know, if I was out there, you know. So, yes, I didn't miss a
Chào
game.
anh
I didn't miss one game. Even on vacation, I didn't miss a game. My wife didn't like it, but
Penny.
she'd be okay.
Sam Amick.
Ron, we've seen you do it so many times before. In the fourth quarter, where's your head at in terms of just deciding this thing not going to take over? We hadn't seen it necessarily this series. You were aggressive all night, but that feels
I've always said that, and I've always had the mindset that, you know, in a closeout game for me personally, I'm just as desperate as the team that we're trying to close out. I don't want to play another game. And if we're in a position where we can win that game, that's just my mindset. Does it always go that route? No, because I don't believe I'm undefeated. I'm not undefeated in closeout games. But my mindset is that I do not, if we've played well enough and we're in the fourth quarter and we have a chance to win, I do not want to play another game. I mean, I love the game, but I do not want to play another game. And that's always been my mindset. I want to be just as desperate as my opponent, just as desperate as the other team, the player that I'm lined up against, the coaching staff that's on the other side. It's just who I am. It's just the mindset I'm able to link into at that very moment.
Dan.
LeBron, you said that in the very detailed answer to Tanya, that you thought briefly about AD and wanting to show him something you've never seen before. What has he meant to you this season? Obviously, you guys are very close. To go through this year with him, how have you needed him?
I mean, I was, I guess it was a very, 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 very long time ago when I was 27. Very, very long, like a long ass time ago when I was 27 in this league. And I just wanted to put myself kind of in his position, you know, and have that you know, sometimes what I would be thinking at that age, and if I was with someone that was in their later stage of their career, and I don't want to ever kind of like, I don't want to let them down, and I'm not even talking on the floor, because there's things that, you know, you can't, sometimes they go in, they don't go in, but as far as like I want to say a role model, but someone that's like that holds myself to a higher standard as far as character. I don't want to let him down. And then it's funny because it's kind of rubbed off on me as well, because he don't want to let me down. I don't know. You've seen the movie Step Brothers before, right? Yes. But there it is.
Are you Will Ferrell or?
Yeah, I'm Will Ferrell for sure. I get on his nerves a lot, for sure. I go in and mess with his drums and everything when he's not watching. Yeah, that's me. I get on his nerves a lot.
All right, and we have just the last couple questions, or a few questions with Tanisha.
Yeah, last three, LJ. We're gonna go BT first.
Congrats, LeBron. Getting to the finals again.
Appreciate it, B.
My question is, you've been around with Alex Caruso for the last 2 years. How has he grown, and how much resolve has he shown to be in his position right now?
I think Alex Caruso is a true definition of when opportunity meets preparation. He's been preparing for this moment for a long time, and he just needed opportunity. And, you know, Luke gave him opportunity last year, and now Coach Vogel and our coaching staff has given him opportunity on a bigger stage. And he's taken, he's just taken full aware of that and just full stride, and he's just gotten better and better. Every single minute he's on the floor, he's still learning. You know, every game is still a learning experience for him because he's so, new to, you know, the NBA. He played a lot of his minutes over the course of his early stages in the G League.
Bây giờ anh cắt anh cái này, hỏi anh
The
một
first
cái bệnh
time I
viện
saw
bạch mai
him
là bệnh viện lớn
and seen
nhất.
him at some of our
Mà
practices,
ba giám đốc,
it
phó
wasn't,
giám đốc với lại
you know, the sneaky
thư ký,
athleticism.
ba người nó phải
It was the way
là
that he
ăn
defended
hôi
and how cerebral he
của
played the
bệnh
game.
viện. là nâng giá máy móc lên
I
giá thiệt
gravitate
cao,
towards
lấy
players
tiền
like
nó
that
bỏ
right
túi,
away.
nghĩ một
Because
người
the
mà
game,
cao nhất mà làm vậy mà
everybody
đi
talk
ăn hối
about
lộ
the
nữa thì
physical
họ làm
side
sao có
and
đám
how
cưới
you
nó
can
không ăn
jump
hối
and how
lộ
fast you can run
Nó
and
tin.
all those things. But the mental side is what gets you to the next level. And, you know, I saw that from AC, and he continues to learn. It's just been great for us.
Mark?
And LeBron, your track record speaks for itself, and there's a lot of talented teammates. But given this was Frank's first year, what jumped out to you with how he managed everything, not just with the group, but all the different unique challenges this year?
No, he's been great. It's been unbelievable. I mean, we've faced. It's been a crazy obstacle course for our franchise this whole year. I'm not going to sit here and give all the details, but everyone can go back and see just from the start of the season all the way up until now what we've went through as a team, and he's been able to manage it the whole time. You know, bringing in guys, losing guys. He's always been the anchor, and our coaching staff has been right behind him, and I can't say anything more than that. You know, and just happy to be on the floor, to kind of be his, you know, coach on the floor, and just, you know, command to my teammates the same message that he's given to me, you know, and be an extension of his mind, and it's been great.
Okay, last question, LJ. Melissa?
Hey, LeBron, 2 questions. In the post-game ceremony, you said just how tough it is to get to the finals. You've now done that 9 times over the last 10 years. How have you been able to have that type of longevity and nearly unwavering success? And how did this ceremony feel with everything you've gone through this year, and then, of course, being without fans?
I've taken care of my body. I've been available to my teammates. That's one. Sleep. I try to get as much sleep as I can. I think there's no better recovery than sleep. And then I've never cheated the game as well. I put so much work into my craft, so much work into the game. I think you add on to the fact that I've played with some great teammates and some great coaching staffs. You know, from Tilo and his coaching staff to Eric Spoelstra, his coaching staff, and now this coaching staff with Frank Vogel. I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed, and they've all allowed me to be me. They've allowed me to go out and do the things that I do on the floor, use my mind, my play, and being able to command my teammates the way I do. And it's put me in position, you know, to be able, like you said, to be in the finals 9 out of 10 years. To answer your second question, everything is different. It's 2020. Nothing feels the same. Everything is different. So the ceremony is different. The one thing I can say, I wish we was in Staples Center tonight with our fans, with our Laker faithful. Because they deserve this just as much as we do, because they've went through the last so many years of not being in a postseason run, feeling like their franchise will never get back to this moment, but they continue to stay faithful, and you know, it would have been great to celebrate with them tonight. So hopefully we can continue to give them something to smile about in the next round as well, and that's what our mindset is.
Thanks.
Thank you, LJ.
Thank you.
And your assist of the night comes from the man who you just heard from, LeBron James, who was on fire. The outlet, woo, 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 woo. I got that. LeBron, handling his business, a part of his triple-double. He had 10 assists, finds AD for the flush, and that is your State Farm assist of the night. Speaking of AD, he's here right for you.
Actually, you can start, Alan.
Oh, all right. We'll start with Kyle Goon.
After your moment came to.
Dạ, cảm ơn anh Thể rất là nhiều. Cảm ơn anh đã vào diễn đàn và chia sẻ.
For the happy close out this series and show again what kind of close we.
Bây bây giờ anh nào muốn mời thì mình bấm ok.
He told us it was his time.
Để mình nói như thế này này, mình
they were making a push.
nói chung
Late
là
in
mình
the
sống
third,
ở cái đất nước nào
they cut
thì
it to
nó là
two,
các bạn công
and
ty, nhưng mà
we
không
didn't
thể
really
nào
start
mà
off
có
in the
cái
fourth
trường hợp
quarter.
mà nó xảy ra như vậy.
Well, we didn't close that third
Mà không
quarter
biết
how
lý
we
do
wanted
tại
to.
sao
We
bây
didn't
giờ
start off
mình
pretty
vẫn tiếp tục
good in
để
that
cho cái
fourth.
chế độ cộng sản này nó cài trị bằng
just took
cái
over.
hình thức gọi là
He told us it was his time.
vô cùng bức xúc
Told me
về
it was
cái
his
chế độ.
time, and
Chẳng hạn như
we kind of
người
just
công an
everybody just kind of got out the way and let him
ăn chặn
be him,
người
and
dân.
he brought it home
Rồi
for
người
us.
bác
But
sĩ cũng đi ăn
he's
chặn
always capable
của
of doing
bệnh
that.
viện.
He makes the
Rồi
right
cái
plays,
người
he makes
giáo
the right
viên cũng
reads,
đi
and
ăn chặn học sinh. Rồi
tonight,
bất
the
cứ
read
ngành
for
nghề
him
rồi
was
cái
to
người mà ở
get to
trong
the basket and
quốc hội
finish
thì họ
or
cũng đi vào đó là cũng
make a
phải
play.
là đút lót đưa tiền ăn chặn với nhau hết.
All of
Từ
them
trên
was their
xuống dưới
reason.
không làm bằng cái
carried
đồng
us
lương
tonight
chính của mình.
to get to this
Nếu
point.
như ông giám đốc bệnh viện đó ông làm một tháng 20 triệu đi thì ông có nghĩ đến cái vấn đề ông ăn chặn gì không? Sao mà một cái con người đã ngồi lên cái ghế quá cao như vậy, giám đốc của một cái bệnh viện lớn, tương đương mới là một cái bệnh viện, phải nói là bệnh viện, có phải nói là mình nói là tầm cỡ nó rất là lớn quốc gia, mà tại sao là đi ăn đã là giám đốc một phó giám đốc thì làm sao ai tin tưởng vào cái bệnh viện đó nữa? Công nhận mình nói là mình thấy một cái xã hội mà tại sao mà nó lạ kỳ như vậy, không thể tưởng tượng được một xã hội mà mình đã như vậy bằng cái mình đã sống bằng cái đồng tiền lương của mình rồi, thì mình có giàu có hay mình nghèo khổ gì á,
I want to get him back
cho
to
mình
the finals.
mình sống nó vẫn đủ sinh
last
hoạt
year he
cho
didn't
cái
get
gia
there.
đình mình rồi, tại sao mà đã ăn cái đồng tiền đó? Tiền đó là tiền của những bệnh nhân, tiền của những người đó, những người họ sẽ đi vào bệnh viện đó, họ sẽ dùng cắt giảm nó để cho nó nhẹ lại để cho cái đời sống người dân họ có thể họ chữa bệnh chữa trị được. Anh ăn quá đi mà bệnh may cái gì anh cũng ăn. Có một cái xã hội mà nó ăn nhau một bầy đàn mà ăn từ trên xuống dưới, ăn từ trái sang phải, ăn từ dưới lên trên. Ở chỗ nào cũng ăn hết, họ cái người dân sao mà sống nổi được? Sao mà người dân nó không sống nổi cái chế độ đó được? Các bạn hãy nhìn đi. Có nghĩa là trong một xã hội cứ mạnh thằng nào ăn thằng đấy đi.
I came here. We want to win a championship.
Mạnh thằng nào làm lớn, mạnh thằng ăn hàng những cái người dưới. Một cái xã hội mà mình nói thì chứ các bạn nó bị thấu nát quá rồi, một lửa quá rồi.
He let me down.
Anh có camera mời anh Sơn Lê lên như vậy.
If we don't, then I let him down. And then we let our team down, we let our organization down. So
quá rồi các bạn không còn cái gì để mà mình
and so anytime
mình nói
we have
ra
to win the game,
cái chế độ này họ cũng ghét, họ cho mình là phản động, cho mình là những thế lực thù địch, nhưng mà không phải là thế lực thù địch
we kind of come up to each other, talk to each other,
một cái
and
xã
just
hội
try to
mà nó
figure
không
out
có từ dưới lên trên mà nó không có minh bạch rõ ràng như vậy thì người dân sẽ là khổ thôi. Vì những cái đồng tiền đó là những cái đồng tiền nó của dân, của đồng tiền thuế của người dân. Những cái đó các bạn biết những cây hoa, cây bông mà như là ở đây cái quốc hội ấy, để mà làm hội nghị tháng 13 hay là những cái đại hội đó, là đồng tiền đó các bạn nên nhớ là đồng tiền của dân, đồng tiền nó của dân chứ không phải đồng tiền của đảng.
Led by a great coaching staff and a great head coach. They come out and compete every night, no matter the situation. For a team to come back from down 3-1 twice, playoffs is a thing that's never been done, and they're going to make you work for every win.
Anh Dũng bỏ lại camera
which they did in this series
Dũng
with us.
thấy anh mà bấm không được.
For them, I think that they got a bright future, of course. Their players are only going to get better, and they're going to make guys work. But it's never, a time in the game where we thought it was over. Obviously Bron went on a run, but they came down, and I think they cut it to like 7 or something like that, or 6, and they're going to always fight. They are going to play the right way and make the right plays, and they got guys who can make big shots, so it's never over until it's over with that team.
All right, Tanisha's going to take the rest of them.
Yeah. Okay, last few, let's go, Mark Medina.
Anthony, congratulations. I know there's obviously a lot of talent on the team, yourself included, but what's been your impression of how Frank has managed this group, given all the different talent, the new pieces, and the unique challenges that came up throughout this season?
First off, thank you. Secondly, he's done a great job with all of us. I mean, he shoots it straight to us. He wants to win. We want to win. And he comes to me and Brian with a lot of questions and ideas of and we give him our opinion on certain things, but we trust him. He comes in and put the game plan together. He spends hours and hours of watching film and breaking down games and breaking schemes down to try to figure out what's the best solution for us, what's the best recipe for us to be successful. And he puts the right players on the floor at the right time. He trusts us. If someone has it going, and he wants to sub a guy in, the guy tell him let that unit roll or let that guy keep rolling. He trusts us, and that's the only thing you can ask for a coach is to trust your players. But at the same time, we have to trust him. But he's been doing a great job of managing emotions.
Hello, what's up?
Especially when everyone's trying to win, you want to be a part of it on the floor. And I think guys have done nothing but respect coach's decisions on who's going to play, who's going to sit, who's coming in the game at what point. Because we know his intentions are good, and his intentions are to try to win, just like ours. So he did a hell of a job, along with the coaching staff, of making sure we're in a position that we are now.
Anthony, a lot of guys have talked tonight about just the overall accountability level on this team. How unique is it to be a part of a group with that high of a level, and what's it been like for you to have to raise your own to that level?
This group's IQ level is very high. Guys hold each other accountable. It really doesn't even come from the coaches. If a player mess up, another player gets on them, no matter who it is. Duz is really the guy who sits back and watches a lot of games and during the games and kind of critiques and looks at what's going on the floor and kind of call guys out. And he called me out, he called Brian out, Doe, it doesn't matter. And when we got guys like that who want to win and who want to help, it makes it a lot easier for us, and it makes you want to go out there and play hard and do the right thing for your guys, because you have a group of guys who's in it for the right reasons and who's not selfish and who just wants to win. So whether you're playing or not, and this team is special, and you don't get a group of guys who's able to do things like that, or some guys on some teams are in it for selfish reasons and things like that. But this group of guys for sure only want one thing, and that's to win a championship. So whatever it takes, we as players hold each other accountable and hold ourselves to a higher standard. So we might not show it on the bench, yelling at each other or things like that, but we definitely have our moments where we argue and have, I don't think nobody saw it last game, me and Brian kind of got into it, but it's coming from the right place, and we got guys like that who hold each other accountable and just want to win. It makes it fun, and that guys are
thì hỏi được tao làm sao được một cái lãnh tụ mà tối ngày đi nói về cái sự việc mà cái thế giới người ta họ bỏ đi rồi, họ không còn ấy nữa mà cũng đeo đuổi với một cái con đường vô coi như là bóng đen, thì họ làm sao mà cứu nổi cái dân tộc này được ấy. Nó thật ra một cái xã hội như vậy, cái gì tôi cứ lúc mà học đi chống tham nhũng làm gì vậy, bỏ cái chế độ này nó làm gì có tham nhũng nữa mà đi chống. Tại vì cái chế độ này mới đẻ ra cái tham nhũng, nó đẻ ra cái quyền lực, nó đẻ ra tất cả một cái như là trong cái xã hội. Chứ còn nếu mà dẹp bỏ cái chế độ này làm gì còn nữa, nhân quyền tất cả mọi người ai cũng được lấy tiếng nói mà nói tiếng nói rất là mạnh mẽ. Giống như xã hội từ dân chủ vậy, người ta hôm nay người nói đi, bắt ông làm như vậy hả, tôi phản đối. Ông như thế này thế nọ, ông Trump ông láo. Ông Trump ông không có được làm vậy, ông làm cái này. Người ta họ lấy tiếng mạnh mẽ thì cái người lãnh đạo người ta cũng sợ.
on the defensive end, we're tough to beat. And he's been able to throw different schemes out there for us and make sure that we understand those schemes. He watched a ton of film, like I said, and breaks it down for us. So the simplest for him to make it easy for us. And when we go over it, and if guys are confused or guys don't really like it, he listens to our input because we're the ones on the floor and we change it. So he's done a great job of putting these schemes together with the assistant coaches and challenging us to do these schemes, but at the same time listen to us because we are the ones that's on the floor. He want to make it as comfortable as possible for us to get the job done.
Hey, I think you were 15 when Step Brothers came out. I'm not sure how familiar you are.
Không phải là do đạo cho ta, cái này là thiên nhiên đất tạo hóa cho ta. Tại sao chúng ta không dám lên nói tiếng? Chúng ta không nói lên nói tiếng để cái chế độ này người ta họ đang đàn áp mình mỗi ngày người dân. Làm sao mà chúng người dân lại cúi đầu mà nhìn thấy cái cảnh mà cái người dân mà gọi là sống theo cái chế độ mà gọi là ma tà đạo.
He could be Will Ferrell. Actually, but he leads the team, man. He actually is Will Ferrell. He leads the team. He's in charge of the group. You know, he's been here several times. You know, and I'm the guy that comes in and try to fit in, and do it my own ways until he comes in and get everything together for us and make us one. So. He's a great guy to be along with, and if he wants to be Will Ferrell, then that's fine. But as long as he give me 4 more wins, and then I'll be cool with that.
Thank you, AD.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, AD.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Anthony Davis there, the Lakers. Smooth. Everybody huddled up, the trophy there for the Western Conference champions, Los Angeles Lakers, who are heading to the NBA Finals. Time to get up out of here. But before we go, we have to distribute credit. Looking at this Lakers team, this is the first time this team as constructed was together. Kudos to Frank Vogel, Jason Kidd and the coaching staff, AD and LeBron, the others. You talk about Rondo, Dwight Howard, and all those people. Out of all of those items that I mentioned, who, in your opinion, 3D deserves the most credit?
I think you forgot the mastermind, Ro.
Anh đồng ý với 100%. Cộng sản thì không có cái gì mà tốt, nó xạo cái người dân mình là từ hồi nào đến bây giờ. Giải phóng cho nó. Cướp đất đai cũng là do nó. Cái gì cũng là do nó hết. Có cuộc sống người dân mà đi nghèo khổ mà bây giờ vẫn là tìm cách mà đi ra nước ngoài để mà sinh sống cũng là do nó. Có một cái thể chế một đất nước nào mà quản lý một con người dân mà để cho người dân cứ ngồi tối ngày cứ chờ một cái đất nước là có một cái màu nhiệm người ta vào hoặc là đi ra nước ngoài mà sống được. Đi ra nước ngoài sống thì được mà ở trong nước thì sống không được. Từ cái nhà kinh doanh thế này họ sống không nổi với là cái lũ cộng sản này. Họ làm sao mà cái chế độ đó mà nó tồn tại mà người dân mà cứ ngồi đó mà nói hoài cái chế độ này được. Cái lũ này là cái lũ là ác, coi như là tội đồ cái dân tộc. Mấy cái thằng đó là những cái thằng đảng đó là những cái thằng đó là an toàn phá hoại cái đất nước, giết hại những cái mầm móng cái sự phát triển của dân tộc. Nó quá đi là nhục nhã, mấy cái tụi này là quá nhục nhã người dân, không còn cái đường gì để mà nói thay cho nó một lần lẽ gì hết. Cái lũ này là cái lũ phản động, nó là cái phản động chứ không phải người dân lên tiếng nó là phản động. Nó phản động mà nó bác nước hạ dân, dùng những cái chính sách ngu dân để mà trị. Làm mị cho người dân, làm cho người dân không có tỉnh thức được để người dân họ có một cái thế để mà nó bảo vệ cái chế độ này. Những cái thằng làm càng lớn là những thằng càng ngu dốt. Tôi xin lỗi đặc biệt cái đảng cộng sản nó không có thật. Nó chẳng qua là đó là một cái chúng mình là một cái chúng mình là tóm bằng một cái vải chứ mà che lại thôi, che lại được cái xã hội của nó thôi. Làm sao mà dân Nga không biết được. Nhưng mà nó vẫn dùng cái gọi là sức mạnh của nó. Cái lũ này là nó thì người dân phải đứng lên mà trị nó thôi. Đừng để cho nó trị mình phải trị nó. Mình phải đứng dây hết các bạn ơi. Một khi các bạn có một thể chế dân chủ, bảo đảm với các bạn không cần phải đi ra nước ngoài mà các bạn không than vãn trong một chế độ mà nó quá là tàn bạo, còn hơn thể chế phong kiến nữa.
A big play with his right. And then he has this ability outside, down low. Watch this on a stop and go, on a stutter and go. How quick he gets into that stop, bam.
Còn cái câu mà Hoa Mộc Lan đợi tí này, câu Hoa Mộc Lan mày thích thì vô diễn đàn, mà không thích thì ra khỏi diễn đàn. Còn không là tao lóc ngay tại chỗ, tại vì em đi diễn đàn ở đây là người dân lên tiếng. Cái chế độ xấu xa, cái chế độ mày nghĩ đi. Một người lãnh đạo mà ngồi một tiết mà ngồi 2 ghế mà già 70 mấy tuổi rồi mà vẫn còn đứng đó mà ngồi để mà lãnh đạo 90 mấy triệu dân. Mày nghĩ ai mà đúng? Mày nghe đi, mày cút khỏi diễn đàn. Còn không là tao lóc ngay tại chỗ mày liền. Ok? Mày là những con sâu. Cái trong cái chế độ này họ muốn lợi dụng mày để mà bảo vệ chế độ mày ngu lắm. Một cái xã hội này đáng để mà mày nên sống không? Mày ngồi đến đây là mày ngồi đến cái diễn đàn mày để mình tuyên truyền hay là cái gì cho cái chế độ này. Bản thân mày được cái gì? Bản thân mày không có cái gì hết trong cái chế độ này hết. Giỏi lắm, ba đồng ba củ làm sao mà sống được đây, nuôi cả tương lai gia đình mày. Ba đồng ba củ làm sao mà thay đổi được cái vận mệnh của mày. Người ta lên tiếng nói đến đấu tranh này để chẳng qua để giúp đỡ cho các người dân trong nước có cái tinh thần chung. Lật đổ cái chế độ cộng sản là không còn cái cộng sản nữa. Nó là cái lũ là một cái lũ yêu quái. Cả thế giới, ngay cả nước Mỹ này người ta cũng chống cái chế độ cộng sản, ngay cả trong cũng vậy. Chống nếu mà có lý do chung mà đi chống cái cộng sản làm cái gì? Mày hiểu không? Con đường mà tôi nói ở đây là không phải là sai cả. Tôi đồng tình với ông Trung. Chống cái chế độ cộng sản này không có để cho nó tồn tại mà hại dân nữa. Hiểu chưa? Mày còn nói nữa là tao lóc mà ngay từ chỗ mà em nói đi. Lóc ngay từ chỗ không còn để nữa.
All right, thanks, guys. I want to talk about one of your Pro Football Hall of Fame colleagues for a moment. He was the Kansas Comet who took the Windy City and the NFL by storm. Indeed, Gale Sayers needed only 7 professional seasons to prove his Hall of Fame worthiness, especially when you consider he was only fully healthy for just 4 of those. And boy, before injuries cut his career way too short, Sayers sure packed in a lifetime of excitement and greatness in those 4 years. Rookie of the Year, 2-time rushing champ, running, receiving, returning, taking your breath away with each touch. For those of the current fantasy football generation needing a frame of reference, imagine what would happen today if a rookie scored 6 touchdowns in a game, as Sayers did in 1965. And as fans of the great movie Brian song can attest, Sayers' grace on the field was matched only by that of his off of it. All of us here at NFL Network want to send our condolences to the Sayers and Bears family. Gale Sayers was 77 years old.
Welcome NFL Game Day Live. During Sunday's action, keep tabs on the league and your fantasy team with highlights of in-progress games.
One of these superstars are going to get you out of that hole.
NFL Game Day Live, today at 1, only on NFL Network.
Boy, they was wrong. Boy, they was gone. Noise what they called. Everything I did, everything I lived through was worth. Yeah, I never did an eye for an eye. Prior to the side, I was getting by for days. Now I'm fresh by.
Go to NFLshop.com and get free shipping.
You push the limits. You defy convention. You turn every ask into an answer. The Ram Rebel, Ram Power Wagon, and the all-new Ram 1500 TRX. Why more people are switching to Ram than ever before. The power has shifted.
Now during Ram Power Days, get $1,250 bonus cash on the 2020 Ram 3500.
If sweat is your body's natural way of cooling itself down, then condensation is a beer's natural way of saying, drink me.
Burger King asks people to describe the Whopper by heart.
Flame grilled patty.
Pickles, tomatoes, onions.
Me encantan. I'm getting hungry. Do you guys have a Whopper?
People crave what's real, and that's why we remove colors, flavors, and preservatives from artificial sources from the Whopper. Your way, way better.
Smooth driving pays off. With Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you save. You've Click or call for a quote today.
If we don't have live music, everybody will be lost.
If you want me to stay, I'll be around today to be available for you to see.
I'll be so good. I wish I could get the message over to you now. America's stages need our help.
For each stream of this song, Crown Royal will donate to these cultural landmarks.
Let's make sure they stay.
Your house brought you together. Like, really together. And although together is great, together with more space is better. With Rocket Mortgage, you get personalized loan options, closing costs, and tax estimates all in real time. So when you need to know what it takes for a home to fit your budget and your family, Rocket can.
Want to dominate your fantasy league? Our experts have the insights to give you the winning edge. He's got the skills. He's got the speed. The dude is like a rocket. NFL Fantasy Live, tomorrow at 5 on NFL Network.
All day, 3-2. Control chaos. We ain't out of control. We still crazy, though. Play together. Hold fast. Let's go out there and dominate.
They got Jeff Driscoll in the jump, bro. Who is it? He went to Florida. He's a Gator. He was way after me, and it's time for me to get one.
I got you a free one today.
I know.
Herbert, still on his feet. He's got the mobility. Touchdown, Chargers.
How much fun was that, man? That was probably the coolest 15 minutes of my life.
I've played for a long time, man. I just stay away from those big hits. I learned
Bây giờ đấu tranh này á là không phải là đấu tranh cho
Okay, it's time for bold predictions presented by Lexus, the highly popular, always entertaining, rarely accurate edition of bold predictions presented by Lexus. Kurt, you're first. What do you have, Kurt?
We all know Russell Wilson has gotten off to an unprecedented start with 9 touchdown passes in his first 2 weeks. With 5 touchdown passes today, he'll have 14 touchdown passes for his first 3 weeks, which has never, ever been done in the NFL before. Now, Rich, before you accuse me of stacking, I get it, and before you tell me, well, 5's not bold because he threw 5 last week against Bill Belichick's defense. I don't know how 5 touchdown passes isn't bold anymore, but I'll give you this as well. He's going to have those 5 touchdown passes against Irv's Cowboys, and he will have 5 or less incompletions to go along with those 5 touchdowns.
Ooh,
okay.
Wow, that's a never ever. That's
Okay.
good. That's good. Well, yeah. Well, you guys know Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Well, you know what? He's hard to beat, isn't he? Yeah, he's hard to beat. Well, guess who has the record for the most touchdown passes versus an Aaron Rodgers-led Packer team? Guess. Yeah, you were just telling EJ on the way to the mall that I have that record. Yeah, you know what? Back in 2009, Kurt Warner, the wild card game, you had 5 touchdown passes in overtime, and you beat Aaron Rodgers. I bet you still have the box score taped on your refrigerator. But enough of that. Tonight, you can take that thing down, because tonight, against the Packers and Aaron Rodgers, I boldly predict that Drew Brees will smash your record and throw 6 touchdown passes, and you'll have no more records left at all to talk about with your family.
That's bold.
Wait a minute, Coach. Wait a minute now. If this thing is right, he will have at least one more to talk about. But today, just guess who? I want you to guess who is the man who's the fastest to 3,000 career pass yards in the National Football League history. It was that man. See, both of you guys Patrick Mahomes is only on game number 30 for today will smash that record and be the fastest to 2,000 career
Wait. I've just been tired.
Mahomes only needs 75 yards to do that. Are you saying that Mahomes is going to throw for 75 yards Monday night? Is that your bold prediction?
That's stacking, Mike.
That's absurd.
I am saying that the gulf in talent is so deep that he's going to throw for 75 yards in the first drive and get the record in the first drive. That it is right there. That's the difference.
Okay. All right. Because I was about to one-finger Kawhi Leonard reject that thing right at the rim, right at the last second. Because that is okay. So 75. Everyone, stay tuned to the first drive. Great photograph. Look at that. Started in the backyard as JJ having his. By the way, I think that's how they stand on Ultimate Tag too. Those guys.
He fires right side. Touchdown! The Packers have scored 40-plus points per game. The Saints' 40-plus QB is now suddenly being questioned. Our question is one we never thought we'd ask. Can Drew Brees keep up with Aaron Rodgers? Russell Wilson already has 9 touchdown passes in 2 games.
Là với tất cả người dân Việt Nam nó không làm gì được đấy. Nếu mà nó làm được thì người dân không có ai mà bỏ đi hết á. Bỏ xứ ra đi. Không có ai mà có cái tư tưởng ngồi như này mà ngồi như này mà trong núi nổi. Chính những cái thằng đã cộng sản nó cũng là cái thằng mà ngồi núi này trong núi nọ. Nó sao làm ở Việt Nam mà cái đầu óc nó không ở nước ngoài các nước dân chủ tư bản. Có nghĩa nó sống ở một cái nơi để mà nó lợi dụng cái trục lợi được cái quyền là của người dân. Nó lấy của lấy tiền bạc rồi nó đưa ra nước ngoài. Các bạn nhìn thấy rồi, một cái đất nước nào mà từ lãnh đạo đến người dân không có ai muốn sống ở trong cái chế độ. Bây giờ tôi có nhiều anh em nó làm thế nào mà đi ra nước ngoài thì không sống được đó, lý do tại sao không sống? Đất nước hòa bình rồi mà, độc lập tự do rồi mà tại sao không sống? Không thể nào mà sống nổi cái chế độ cộng sản này được. Ok, 1, 2, anh kêu người ta làm giàu được, anh làm giàu. Kêu không phải, người ta làm giàu được, người ta có thể lực làm giàu, có tiền được. Còn tôi như bản thân như anh chị em của tôi là không bao giờ mà làm được gì cái chế độ này được hết. Không biết làm như thế nào để mà kiếm sống, để mà nuôi con, nuôi cái, nuôi gia đình, tạo dựng cuộc sống. Nó kêu người Việt Nam bây giờ phát triển mà kêu không, anh nói là anh nghe tụi nó nói là không đúng rồi. Cái chế độ này không có phát triển gì, phát triển lên cái nạn xã hội, tệ nạn mãi dâm, ma túy, cướp giật, cho vay lấy lãi, chứ không phải phát triển cái gì hết.
So gas up the minivan, because Mango Habanero has a dentist appointment and Honey Barbecue is late for ballet. Buffalo Wild Wings, now with free delivery.
Questions like these because we believe the most amazing machines are inspired by you. Experience the rewards of our curiosity.
Yo, Deshaun, how about I only block 60% of the time?
All right, big fella. I'm just going to use my left arm for 60% of my passes.
Coach, I'm only showing up for 60% of the practices. Cool?
I'm only coaching to win 60% of the games anyway.
Only 60% of y'all voted in 2016? That's not gonna get it done. We can't win if we don't play.
Register.
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 Register to vote.
It's off to Leonard. Defended by Simmons. Is this the Tiger?
Tonight, turn it up with 11 flavors so intense your dinner won't know what hit it. And neither will you.
Who ate all the boneless?
You did.
Sounds like me.
Get Wingstop. Delivery or carry out at wingstop.com.
Mình thấy là cái xã hội mà giao quyền cho công an để mà quản lý, để mà quản trị cái người dân, để mà gọi là trong cái tình hình gọi là giống như là một cái người mà quản lý về cái xã hội là cũng là cái thằng tham nhũng, cũng là cái thằng hỗn lộn, cũng là cái thằng ăn móc túi của người dân. Thì họ làm sao cái chế độ cái xã hội nó phát triển được? Họ làm sao mà còn biết bao nhiêu những cái thằng khác mà nó ấy được? Một dã man chặn người ta mà biểu người ta phải đưa 6 triệu lấy tiền, còn xe người ta đi ngang qua chặn lấy người ta 4 triệu để mà người ta họ 4 triệu người ta làm lương cả một tháng, người ta đem về nuôi sống cho gia đình. Hỏi làm sao một chế độ mà như vậy? Ai là người sát xử những cái người đó? Ai là sát xử? Chẳng lẽ cái gì cũng kêu cầm bút ra để mà sát xử hả? Ông sát xử có nổi hay không? Do cái chế độ này quá đi là tồi tệ, quá đi là ung núi rồi, tới cái thời kỳ là cái trứng ông lộn rồi. Mà phải.
There's Joey Burrow, your reigning Heisman Trophy winner and national champion. His alma mater took one in the chops yesterday, but he is in Philadelphia hoping to deliver a troubling blow to Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles today. One of the many compelling contests in week number 3 of the National Football League season. And Ian Rappaport, let's talk about some crucial names on the injury report. Go for it.
Rich, let's turn our attention right to the big-time late game tonight. First of all, Packers star receiver Davante Adams. He's listed as doubtful with a hamstring injury. Almost always this means a guy has no chance of playing. My understanding for this one is he does have a chance to play. He's pushing the play. The team is going to let him work out on the field 90 minutes before the game to see if he'll actually be out there. Meanwhile, Michael Thomas, the Saints star receiver, he is out for tonight's game with a high ankle sprain. The team is being cautious, so he's expected to return at some point this week, Rich, to practice. He may not play for another week after this one.
Ian, thanks very much. A huge Sunday night football game at the end of our Week 3 rainbow here on this Sunday. It's hour 3 of this Week 3 edition of NFL Game Day Morning presented by Lowe's. We put the home and home team for you. Rich Eisen, Steve Mariucci, Kurt Warner, Michael Irvin, cast of thousands as we take you to kickoff over the next couple of hours. In a half an hour from now, we'll have some active, inactive reports to let you know about for this big Week 3 contest. Once again, we've got the Saints and we've got the Packers coming up on Sunday Night Football on NBC. The Packers coming out and just putting the bang thing on 2 division opponents at Minnesota, home against the Lions. Now comes the Saints team that does have a stout defense, although Derek Carr and Darren Waller and Josh Jacobs had their way with it last week, while we all were left to wonder about Drew Brees' future. I mean, my goodness. So the question at the bottom of the screen is a rare one when you ask about Brees and his offense can keep up with another one, but this is Aaron Rodgers we're talking about.
Yeah, Rich, and we come to know the Saints for that, team that can score a lot of points and can blow teams out and score 40-plus points. I'm not sure they're built that way right now. And, we've documented it earlier in the show. Drew Brees and the big arm and the big plays down the field just don't seem to be there right now. And then you take away their biggest weapon in Michael Thomas. So if we're asking if they've got to keep up and score 40 points because the Packers have scored 40 in their first 2 games, the answer to me is no. If they're going to win this game, I believe they have to be a ball control type team. They have to be able to run the football. And Moose talked about it earlier. They are a dink and dunk team. Complete the short balls. That to me is what they have to do. They have to complete balls. They have to get first downs. And I believe if they win, this is going to be a game that's in the mid-20s as opposed to a game that they win, 40 to 35. I don't think they've got the firepower right now.
All eyes will be on Davante Adams. He's going to go out and try to convince the doctors that he's healthy enough to play, but chances are even if he does, he's not at full strength. So that would put Aaron Rodgers in that category of quarterbacks who has lost their BFF for a while, like Drew Brees losing Michael Thomas, like Kirk Cousins losing Stephon Diggs, or like Deshaun Watson losing D-Hop. If Aaron Rodgers loses Davante Adams, that's huge. And you know what? The Saints are pretty darn good. They played 4 times against each other, Breeze and Aaron Rodgers. They're 2-2, but Drew Brees has always played well against the Packers defense. He's thrown 13 touchdowns, Irv, and no interceptions. He plays against the defense, not against Aaron Rodgers, and he's primed and ready to go with or without Michael Thomas today.
Yeah, well, he's been hurting a lot of defense over the years. In the last few years, it's been with Michael Thomas. And when you look at it, Coach, you mentioned those guys, man. If you take away Devontae Adams and you take away Michael Thomas, they're both gone. And you look at what is left. Manuel Sanders has 4 catches for 33 yards. There's not a receiver on the Saints side that averages over 50 yards a game.
Cả người mà anh nổi da gà là có thể của thằng bây giờ của thằng Trung Quốc bây giờ thì ông trả lời ông có nghe không? Người dân đã nói đó, ông làm tại sai cho cái thằng Tập Bình á. Ông bán nước cho cái thằng Tập Bình. Ông bán nước cho cả cái dân tộc này cho cái thằng Trung Quốc đó. Ông đang làm tại sai đó. Nghe chưa mấy anh giờ mấy cái ông nội du lịch viên ở dưới này.
Want us to put him in that MVP conversation that we keep talking about Russell Wilson with, so he can tell the Packers. Well, I told y'all, I'm gonna win this thing.
Nó hà hiếp em, nó
That's
có
Sunday Night
cái em không mà
Football. We
tại sao
can't wait to
em
see
nói
that
xấu
on
chế
our
độ
friends
này.
at NBC Sports.
Em là người
Alan,
trong nước.
Chris, and Michelle and the gang putting it on for our whole country to enjoy, and much of the country later on this afternoon on Fox can take in the Cowboys and Seahawks, which means Tony Romo will not be in the booth for this one. And it's interesting again that this series returns to Seattle. The most famous moment, I guess, in the history of this series, one would say, turned out to be, interestingly enough, Bill Parcells' last game in the NFL, the Hall of Famer. However, Jane, as we know, the breaks sometimes go your way, certainly in special teams, and it certainly did for the Cowboys last week.
Yeah, they called that one the watermelon twister, although I would argue that Texas twister sounded a little better, Rich. But let's talk about the contest between these two teams. When you look at the Seattle Seahawks, this is now the 4th time that Dak Prescott has played them either in the regular season or the postseason. That is tied for most outside the NFC East. Now, despite the familiarity with his opponent, he's dealing with some newer faces along his own offensive line. La'el Collins out, and then it's not looking good that his other starting tackle, the important one, left tackle Tyron Smith, will be ready to go. Now, Prescott was missing those 2 last week and still managed to put up 40 points and 450 yards, but he'll likely need to be just as impressive again this week. Seattle is averaging over 35 points a game through the first 2 weeks, and that's leading to the mantra, you just gotta let Russell Wilson cook.
Let Russ cook. Holy catfish! Feed me. Russ looks, he's going to lay it up over the top. Forget about it. Feed me again.
Delicious touchdown, Seahawks. Where's the beef?
Holy smoke. Who wants to eat? Let me have some more. Gobble it up. Feed me. Feed me. Always delicious.
Just stop it.
Some idea of what happens when you let Russ cook.
It's confirming that some on our staff have the munchies when they're on the job. Very good. That's funny, though. He's cooking. I mean, the guy's cooking. And those 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 9s where he's running around and getting first downs because he's running around and finding guys down the field. I mean, he's just in the flow of an offense that is really coming out of the gate very strong. And as you just saw right there, historically strong. And it's not just for Seattle. We're just talking in general. So Kurt Warner, the Cowboys defense, as we all know, last week had a very rough go of it against the Atlanta Falcons before that, or the watermelon twister, or whatever Jane Slater was calling it, was being called down there in the Metroplex. Will they be able to slow down this Russell cooking offense?
Well, Rich, you got to answer that first with, how do you slow him down? I mean, right now, everything he's doing right. And so when we talk about great quarterbacks and slowing them down, the first thing we always say is you got to get quick pressure on him. You get quick pressure on a quarterback, maybe you can slow him down. Well, here's quick pressure, and he just buys a little bit of time, falling backwards. He throws a big watermelon up there, a perfect throw. Okay, not quick pressure. We got to have great coverage on the back end. Well, here's great coverage on the back end by the Patriots. But now they don't have quick pressure. He's going to buy a little bit of time. He's going to dance around. He's going to make a beautiful throw for another touchdown. Okay, we need quick pressure and good coverage on the back end. And say, you're going to see it right here. We got quick pressure. We got good coverage on the back end. Well, I'm just going to elude that little pump fake. Now I run for 20 yards. I don't know what the formula is to slow him down with the zone that he's in right now. And so with a guy playing this hot, I'm going to sit here and say, no, I don't believe the Cowboys will slow him down. It'll have to be like last week. They're going to have to outscore him.
Yeah, Kurt, there is no way. There's no way that the Cowboys defense can slow down Russell Wilson and that big man child he has as a wide receiver in DK Metcalf. Y'all saw that. You saw it last week. I mean, that was a great one-on-one battle between him and Gilmore. And Metcalf, man, that position, thanks to the connection he has with Russell Wilson. I mean, this is a whew. Hey, the Cowboys don't have anybody like Gilmore in their secondary. So I hope they have some idea of trying to double or triple team him, and see what Russell does when you take away that weapon. But the only way they can top number 3 is with number 4, Dak Prescott. That's the only way you beat 3 is with 4. 4 has to be sharp today. He has to pass that ball around, and he has to get that ball, I think, to the tight end also. Remember, there was no pass rush from Seattle on Cam Newton. They got to take advantage of that today.
Yeah, and the Seahawks watched that film closely from Atlanta last week, and they saw Matt Ryan spread the ball around to tight ends and slots and wideouts and you name it. And we know that Russell Wilson is the best deep ball thrower in the National Football League. He's been for a long time, even with smaller guys, Tyler Lockett, Doug Baldwin, who's since retired. But Michael, you mentioned it. DK Metcalf, now the big guy, he's almost 6'4". He ran a 4.33 coming out of Ole Miss, and this guy can fly and go up and make 50-50 balls, 80-20 balls, and I think the future is bright. He's a rising star, and you know what? Dallas, I don't think they can slow him down. Like you said, they're going to have to outscore him to win this game.
So again,
I like that, Coach. 50-50 balls, 80-20 balls. I got to use that.
It's just going to be a highly entertaining contest that both teams could really need this. They need this win. The Dallas Cowboys want to prove that last week was no fluke, even though it sure looked like one. And then you saw what's going on in the rest of the NFC West. Seattle at 2-0 may need to win to keep up pace with much of the division. So we now move back east right now to New England. The Patriots fans call it the snow game. Raiders fans call it the tuck rule game. This is why, because Tom Brady sure looks like he's about to tuck the ball back away because he doesn't intend to throw anymore. It's initially ruled a fumble, but the actual rule in the rule book meant that was that movement of the tuck was that Tom Brady was throwing an incomplete pass. It's the first game for Gruden as a head coach. The Raiders against the Patriots since that very night when both franchises went in opposite directions, completely opposite directions, from that night to this present day. The Raiders, however, are the team that comes in without Mike Giorgi's at Gillette.
Nó láo mà kiểu người dân như vậy không? Có nghĩa là anh bị người dân rồi. Có nghĩa là trước đây anh đã nói. For a former MVP, but this year he's at 71.4 despite the small sample size. Hell, certainly a part of that response from Cam, but also improved mechanics. Offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels and quarterback Jed Fish have worked with Newton to marry his head with his feet, and you're seeing the results in spades. Bill Belichick, when I asked him, the improvements he has made over the 2 months that he's been here have been excellent, and he continues to work on those things. As for Cam, he said, whatever the coaches tell me to do, I'm on board. He is buying. Now let's send it to James Palmer in Denver.
Well, thanks, Mike. Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski this week were reminiscing about the AFC title game they lost in this building back in 2015. In that game, Gronk finished with 144 receiving yards. This season, through 2 games, 4 targets, 2 catches for 11 yards, and joked with us this week that he was brought to Tampa to be a blocking tight end. But they gave up a 4th-round pick, paid him $9 million to come out of retirement. You'd think he'd be a larger part of the offense, but people in Tampa Bay want this to work organically. They refuse to force the football to any one player. And Bruce Arians went as far as to say they're not going to throw 50 balls to the tight end. This is based off of the wide receivers. People in the building believe his numbers will come, but Rich, this is something early on to keep an eye on.
All right, thanks for that
Nó chỉ
report
có
right
là
there
nó
from
chỉ nói
both,
nó hứa
again,
hẹn như
New
vậy thôi.
England and
Nó
Tampa
thiệt với các bạn
because
người dân
of
trong
what
nước
we saw this
làm
offseason.
sao
We're
được,
going to be
làm
talking
ra
about
là
both
nó
of
ăn
these
trước
teams
rồi.
in
Mấy
relation to
trận đầu
one
là
another
nó ăn từ
all
trước lên
season
đây đó,
long.
tại
You
vì
can
nó
see the
đảng quyền mà.
numbers.
Cái quyền đảng
Does
đảng
that
quyền
tell
mà
the
chế
full
sản mà,
story
chế độ
about
cộng sản
the
mà.
rest of the season? Steve Mariucci, Kurt Warner, I give you the 1-1 team that you would be most confident in performing well from here on out. Brady's Bucks or Newton's Patriots? Who do you take?
Yeah. Kurt Warner, yeah, these are both pretty darn dangerous teams, aren't they? And so if I've got to go first and talk about who do I prefer, it's the Bucks, and I'll tell you why. They're at full strength finally, all right? And Chris Godwin is coming back from his concussion. Mike Evans, who messed around in the first game with a hammy, is now healthy. I love Leonard Fournette being there. He looks like what everybody hoped for when he came into the league. Gronk blocking more than ever, but he's still a capable guy. So I think Kurt Warner, that Tom Brady in the Bucs is a team that I have the most confidence in today. What say you?
Để mà lấy tiền.
If we're talking about today or this point in the season, I'm actually going to go with the Pats here, Mitch. And week 8, when maybe things come together for the Bucs and Tom Brady back there, maybe I lean that direction. But what I've seen from the Pats here in the first 2 weeks has really, really impressed me. I know what I'm going to get. They're going to be able to run the football. They're going to play good defense. Now, if you add Cam Newton being able to throw the football like he did last Sunday night, man, I'm looking at this team and go, okay, maybe we wrote them off a little bit too early. I like what I've seen. I think they're more efficient right now. When I watch the Bucs, there's still something off there. Tom Brady is still thinking and missing things that he would normally hit. As I said, maybe halfway through the season, we go Bucs, but I'm with the Pats right now.
Okay, well, these two teams are probably going to get better as the season goes on. Let's go on back to Rich Eisen.
Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you very much, Kurt. Greatly appreciated. We're going to see Josh Jacobs in that game against New England. And we are going to see Jerry Jeudy, it seems, against the Buccaneers in that game. Eager to see the Falcons' decision with Julio Jones. That's coming up in about 15 minutes' time. And we expect Kenny Golladay to get his first action of the season later on today for the Lions in Arizona. T.J. Watt out there on the field. His brother JJ will be out there on the field. Derek's already a teammate of TJ's. Back home with the Watt brothers. It's time to talk to some parents.
I've always got to add like an extra half an hour to the workout time because something's going to become a competition. They will push each other and compete against and won't stop until there's a declared winner.
The boys were extremely competitive when they were growing up.
Yeah, when they were little, it was everything. From cutting the grass, it was who could do it the quickest, who had to do more, who had to do less. It was just always something, and it was a good kind of competitiveness.
Nó ăn thì ăn gì ăn hết, nhưng mà nó ra cái không. Đảng này là đảng vô tư chân chính, cần kiệm liêm chính. Đảng này là đảng là chống tham nhũng. Đảng này là đảng tuyệt vời, đỉnh cao tỷ tệ. Đảng của này là đảng coi như là đi theo người nguyện, coi như là ước nguyện của người dân, là cái đảng gần gũi dân. Không có một cái đảng nào mà thay thế được cái đảng cộng sản. Mà á cha đó mà nó xạo còn hơn là mà có nữa mà không biết tại sao mà cái người dân trong nước lại vẫn tiếp tục đi ngang đầu những cái thằng lóc cá ăn dưa ăn mắm này mà nói tầm bậy tầm bạ không. Ai mà tin nó? Nếu mà nó tin nó thì đảng của nó phải tin cái người đảng của nó phải tin nó, nhưng mà đảng đâu có tin nó. Nó đảng nó đâu có tin nó, những người thành viên của nó đâu có tin nó, mà ai tin? Lúc làm cho nó ok, nhưng mà không làm cho nó được việc đó là Nguyễn Trung đó, chủ tịch đó, loại liền, diệt liền. Có một cái chế độ, một cái xã hội như vậy thì làm sao? Các bạn nghe đi.
We love our new home. There's so much space.
We have a guest room now.
But we have ants.
You're slouching again, Ted.
Expired.
Thanks, Aunt Bonnie.
It's a lot of house. I hope you can keep it clean.
At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
Which helps us save a lot of money.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request?
I'll have to check.
Aunt Joni's here.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Too busy to watch football all day?
Are you kidding me?
That's unfortunate. We'll catch you up with highlights from every game.
Buckle up. We're coming at you.
NFL Game Day highlights tonight at 7:30, only on NFL Network. Are you ready to sink your teeth into a lemon pepper, sweet and spicy Korean cute-tastic, mango habanero
Masterclass in all things wings.
Yes, I am.
Are you though?
Get Wingstop's new all-in bundle delivered for a limited time.
Để anh nói với em nghe, những cái người á mà những cái thằng thôn xã rồi á là những cái người đó là họ cái thành phần của họ, cái trí thức họ rất là yếu kém. Mà những cái con người mà đã gọi là cái nhận thức mà quá yếu kém là một cái gọi là cái kiến thức không có, là thường họ già hùa lắm, họ là cái công cụ cho cái người khác khai thác thôi. Thành thử ra những cái người đó, những cái người đó là những cái người là nghe lệnh của cấp đây mà họ không có cái gọi mình nói là không có cái tí nào mà sáng suốt, nên là cả thành là cái cải tài sai của cái người cấp đây thôi. Mà cái đảng cộng sản này những cái thằng đảng là cái công cụ tài sai, cái thằng mà như ở phường ở này nó là công cụ tài sai. Nó biết là đảng trên thế giới đảng cộng sản là nó bị tiêu diệt lần nó hủy hoại, nó tiêu diệt lần nhưng mà nó vẫn nghe thằng Tây nói, nghe thằng Tây mà nghe thằng chó già đúng. Bây giờ chó già đúng nó nói là như là tất cả mọi người phải đi theo đường hướng sau chủ nghĩa, đừng lệch lạc chủ trương và cố gắng và gìn giữ
or so, and the Bengals are aware of that after watching tape of last week's game against the Rams and seeing Wentz misfire on some key throws, including 2 interceptions. So look for them to try to pressure Wentz, because a lot of the talk here has been about his footwork and his mechanics, and there being a sign that he's just not comfortable right now. The problem is, since he is not very talented or deep on their defensive line, still without Geno Atkins, though they are getting veteran Mike Daniels back. So look for Lou Anarumo, the Bengals defensive coordinator, to try to generate some pressure with a lot of blitzes today. So, Kurt Warner, the question to you is, does Carson Wentz get off the schneid today?
Well, Mike, I think you made a great point, and it's something that I've seen for about a year and a half now, is the footwork and technique of Carson Wentz is off. Whether it's impatient, whether it's him being uncomfortable, or whether he's just got some deficiencies there. And so, can he go out and have a good game? Yes, he can. But it's about consistency, and without proper technique, I don't believe that consistency is going to come back. I think he's going to continue to struggle with where they're at as a football team and where he's at personally with that technique. And so he's got to clean that up if he wants to get back on track. From one team with the QB issues to another team with QB issues, let's head out to Tom Pelissero in Minnesota.
Kurt, no fans again today as the Vikings host the Titans, but perhaps a bit of their home field advantage restored. You might be able to hear the NFL this week remove the decibel limit on in-stadium music and audio props. So when it's third down, they will blow that Galler horn full blast. They just have to shut it off when the play clock hits 20. A battered Vikings defense needs all the help it can get. Linebacker Anthony Barr out for the season. Their top 2 cornerbacks inactive today. Star defensive end Danielle Hunter is getting closer from what I've told is a herniated disc in his neck, but he's probably not ready when he's eligible to come off IR next week. The offense has struggled too. Michael, what is wrong with the Vikings?
Well, let me tell you what is wrong with them. Everybody, and I'm glad I got this moment to talk about this. We must stop treating receivers like expendable, disposable assets. We see that is not the case. Michael Thomas is showing you that, right? D Hop has shown you that. And right here with the Minnesota Vikings, Stephon Diggs is showing you that. That's why he's tearing it up. And Buffalo, the coach said he runs practice. He has everybody playing great in practice. That man right there, you let go. You kept Kirk Cousins on he breeze. And Kirk Cousins, two touchdowns with 4 interceptions this year already. Only 11 completed passes this last week. That's what's wrong. Receivers
nó chỉ biết là
are not
cái mà nó làm á là cái gì đúng là nó
Now let's go to Kim
tuyên
Jones.
lên để mà phóng cái loa lên để cho các người dân nghe theo.
Thanks so much, Irvin. I agree with everything you just said. You know, in all of my years, I don't think I've ever been on the same field as Aaron Donald. And I'm not on the field, but you get what I'm saying. I will say this, the great players carry themselves differently, and he does. Josh Allen, by the way, just finished a conversation behind me. He was talking with Jared Goff. I'm told that Josh Allen, over these last few days, whether it's teammates, friends and family, whether it's the PR staff of the Bills, he keeps telling everyone it's only been 2 weeks. It's only been 2 games. I guarantee you Sean McDermott absolutely loves that direction and that leadership from his quarterback. And Mooch, I know you want to talk about the Bills franchise quarterback too.
Yeah, thanks, Kim. I do in Nooch's minute. You know, since 2018, people, when Josh Allen became the starting quarterback of the Bills, no other quarterback in the league has more rushing touchdowns than Josh Allen. He's got 18 rushing touchdowns. And you know what? Let's take a look. It's like you said, Kim, it's only been 2 weeks, but look at this good company right here. To start a season for over 700 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's pretty good company with Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and now Josh Allen. Let's take a look at the passing game that he's so much improved on. He's becoming such a good passer. Now, you mentioned Stephon Diggs. Here he is in the slot.
Gì đó nữa, ông Nguyễn Anh thì bỏ cái lá cờ này lên nữa, lấp ngay cái chỗ liền ngay chưa, làm sao cho cái này cho nó qua, cái sao mà đây nữa là bút cái là rất luôn á, lóc luôn á, bây giờ mở ra mấy cái cờ mà thấy cái cờ móc áo này mà thấy một nước cái cờ này, mã mẹ nó cái bóc là cái cờ đó nó từ đâu, nó từ cái thằng Trung Quốc mà nó đem về mà nó dám đem bỏ lên cái giang sơn Việt Nam, cái đất nước Việt Nam để mà ai cũng phải là đi treo cái lá cờ của cái thằng cộng sản đó. Đất nước này nó đâu có cầm cái thằng cộng sản này để mà cai trị đâu. Nghe chưa, nhớ nha, đây một lần nữa là lóc ngay cái chỗ liền, mày không vĩnh viễn luôn á, mày không có thấy cái lá cờ và máu đỏ nữa. Mày biết.
This is covered. He needs a perfect throw to Stephon Diggs to get it in there. And that's separation of 0.75 yards. It's like 2 feet and 3 inches. You know what? Josh Allen is becoming another great dual threat quarterback in this league. I like their chances, and the Bills, I think, have a great chance to win that division. And the Cowboys' unlikely comeback last week got Kurt Warner, Michael Irvin thinking about their most memorable comebacks. Well, it's story time with our Hall of Famers when we return.
Bridgestone Turanza tires are engineered to make sure nothing comes between them and the road, especially not a little bit of water. That's clutch performance. Bridgestone, official tire of the NFL.
People everywhere living with type 2 diabetes are waking up to what's possible.
Tại sao mày thích như vậy, mày đi qua cái nước mày đi qua mấy cái nước cái kia đó là mày được cái hưởng là đi học không tốn tiền, hoặc là mày được cái đó, còn ở bên nước Việt Nam chưa có, phải đợi. Nó nói nó tụi cái luật điều của tụi nó là như vậy đó, mà nó nghĩ là sao mà nó dài như vậy, trong khi đó tất cả các nước khác mình nói đừng có nói gần đâu, cái thằng Thái Lan đâu, nó nước dân chủ đó, mặc dù dân chủ là phiến đó, hoặc là nước Đài Loan không, mà người ta họ làm được, cái dân tộc họ đâu có bằng Việt Nam mình họ làm được, còn mình ở đây mình làm không có được.
Don't take Rybelsus if you or your family ever have medullary thyroid cancer.
Người dân cứ chờ đợi cái đấy cái hồi nào, cái năm nào, tháng nào để mà chờ đợi cái thằng đảng cộng sản, cái thằng mà mắc ở không ra mà tắt bạc hết rồi mà nó làm cái gì, nó là người đứng đầu của một cái đất nước, mà bây giờ nó còn tôn thờ chủ nghĩa này, làm sao? Tại sao nó ngu đến bao mức độ mà nó không nhìn nhận ra cái xã hội cái thế giới đi rồi, họ đang làm cái gì để thay đổi, ai là cái đối tượng người ta căm ghét cái chế độ này, cả cái thế giới người ta họ lấy ngán chế độ này một cách khủng khiếp. Tại sao nó đi bông bô cho cái thằng Trung Quốc mà đi làm tay sai cho thằng Trung Quốc? Nó cái dân tộc đây là do cái sự lãnh đạo dưới cái quyền của nó hả? Hay là cái người dân họ chọn cái con đường lãnh đạo của họ? Nó là cái gì? Nó là con của ai và sinh sống như thế nào? Nó được học như thế nào? Nó có cái tài năng như thế nào? Mà nó dẫn dắt đưa cái đất nước như vậy.
The NFL season is
Mà
underway,
đến khi
and
bây
the
giờ người
shots
ta
to win keep piling
người dân
up.
phải
Not
thức
all
tỉnh
leagues
ra cái
are
vấn đề
created
này.
equal, and
Một
this
cái thằng
week
ngu
you
dốt,
can compete
tôi nói
for
thiệt bảo đảm với
free
các
for
bạn,
over $1
hôm nay
million
tôi chữ rất là mạnh
in
bởi vì
prizes.
sao?
Seven
Tôi bức xúc
figures
trong cái
makes
chế độ
every
này nó
play
có
count
nhiều cái mà
that
cái người
much
dân
more.
mình phải
To
thức
compete,
tỉnh
just
lên, mình
download
phải
the
đứng lên
app,
đòi
sign
lại
up
cái
with
quyền của
promo
mình.
code kickoff,
Không có
draft
để
the
cho cái lũ
lineup,
cộng sản
and
này
make it
nó tiếp
rain.
tục ra hội này đến cái đại hội khác.
Bridgestone
Nó
dueler
đưa
tires
cho
are
người
built to
dân
drive
một cái
around the
bẫy nào
entire
quá lớn
Earth
đi.
3 times.
Và lúc nào nó giống như một cái thằng ăn cướp.
Now
Lúc nào
someone
đi
just
ra
needs
ngoài
to
đường
build
cũng
the
ăn
road.
mặc sang trọng và dùng những cái thủ đoạn như lừa đảo, nhưng mà bản thân nó không có cái gì trong gia đình nó thấu nát. Hắn là một cái cướp để làm cộng sản này. Nó tương tự, nó giống như vậy, nó không có khác gì hết. Nó chẳng qua nó đào mì dân ở bên ngoài, nó là một cái nước phát triển, nhưng bên trong nó thấu nát từ trên xuống dưới. Nếu là một người dân Việt Nam chúng ta chỉ biết được cái xã hội nó thấu nát từ dưới lên trên. Từ cái thằng mà gọi là đi làm dân phạm, nó thằng nó cũng thấu nát. Tại vì sao? Nó bởi vì nó đói quá, nó phải đi vào cái dân phạm để nó kiếm đồng tiền để mà nó đi theo một cái đám gọi là công an để mà nó áp bị cái người dân mình. Nếu người dân đó có một cái lần vi phạm, nó cho là cái vi phạm trong cái sau. Rồi cái thằng cao hơn nữa là cái thằng nhắm vào những cái người dân, những cái con nợ, nhắm vào những cái cơ sở như là làm ăn để mà tiếp tục mà vòi vĩnh tờ mắc túi của người dân. Rồi tiếp tục này nữa toàn là những cái thằng nào càng có tích càng có quyền là to đập với nhau mà cướp đất những cái mảnh đất của người dân để lấy cái đất là trở thành một cái gọi là mafia cướp đất, bằng đủ cái hình thức để mà cả cướp áp chế cái người dân, buộc người dân phải đưa đất giao đất. Có hai điều kiện đó, một là trở thành một cái sản phẩm trong đó, mà hai nữa là trở thành một cái con người là lấy đất nhưng mà anh lấy lại cũng lấy được bằng cái thủ đoạn của tụi nó quá mạnh não. Còn những thằng mà cao hơn nữa là những thằng gì ăn cướp của dân, và lúc nào cũng suy nghĩ mình vẫn cướp được cái mình dân, mình phải lấy được cái đó về cái vận tài, vì người dân mình nó quá ngu, nó không có một cái khả năng chống cự lại được. Mình phải lấy cho bằng được. Còn những cái thằng bác sĩ trong cơ đó bệnh viện làm gì? Phải hối lộ, phải là tham nhũng, phải nâng cao lên cái tất cả những cái tiền mua máy mát lên. Phải đưa cái người này vào để mình lấy tiền, đưa người kia vào để mình lấy tiền, mình lên mình vô mình tốn 1 tỷ. Bây giờ mình phải ngồi đó mình lấy lại 1 tỷ. Thì hỏi các bạn như vậy thì ai là người chịu trách nhiệm? Người dân là cái người là chịu hết bao nhiêu cái nạn nhân, bao nhiêu cái chế độ này để lại cho cái người dân. Người dân là cái người mà gọi là phải nói là tiền cái chết trong cái sống. Người ta học mỗi ngày học cái gì đến là phải làm sao mà phải thoát khỏi cái chế độ này không?
We're playing the Washington football team. And it was so funny. This was the year Chan Gailey was the second-year head coach, and he was trying to pull some of me away. He said, we want to rest you for the end of the season. We really want to take some of that power from you, Michael. So in the middle of this game, we go up 14-3. We go up 14-3. I'm having a great game. They pulled me out of the game. Second, third quarter, I'm sitting on the sideline. I got Jonathan Ogman and Ernie Mills in the game. The Washington team ran off 32 straight points. They went up 35-14, and they came over to me and they said, hey,
em đó là em nói, nhưng mà nó không nói vậy. Nó kêu nó đâu có làm một phút tàu cặn đâu có lan chuyển được cái vấn đề tình hình chính trị của Việt Nam đâu. Nó nói là như vậy. Nó kêu là nó là khôn ngoan lắm. Cái đảng cộng sản này rất là khôn ngoan. Bất cứ chơi ai cũng được. Bây giờ nó chơi Mỹ nó cũng chơi, nhưng mà Trung Quốc nó cũng chơi. Nó chơi sao có lợi gì đâu. Lợi cái chỗ nào không?
For 76 yards to win the game. That's my most memorable comeback because I got a chance to tell them I'm still here.
Did you really think about not going back in, Michael? Come on, don't even say that to the people. When we were talking and I was thinking about these biggest comebacks, you know, the funny thing is I couldn't think of any big comebacks that I had, and so it kind of bruised my ego a little bit. I reached out to research and said, okay, what was my biggest comeback? They couldn't come up with any big comebacks either, so I'm starting to think, man, I guess I wasn't really good in those situations. But to help lift my ego, I'm going to say it was because I was usually ahead in games, so I didn't have to make any big comebacks. So for me, probably the best comeback that I was a part of was actually Super Bowl 43. And now we didn't end up winning the game, but we fell down on this play that you guys love to show numerous times every year when I threw that interception for a touchdown, and we fell behind in that game. Second half, we were down 20-7 going into the fourth quarter. Fought all the way back to take the lead with just 2.5 minutes to go before Big Ben and Santonio make that great play in the corner of the end zone. But unfortunately, my greatest comebacks didn't calculate to wins for me, so that's kind of a bummer on my part. I wish I had some story like you coming in off the bench and making a couple big plays and leading my team to a win. But unfortunately, I got to leave it there with a loss. But with that, let's head out to Ian Rappaport, who's got some actives and inactives and some breaking news on Julio Jones.
Well, thanks, Kurt. Julio Jones officially out for today's big-time game against the Chicago Bears. This just coming in the last couple seconds. The original plan was for the Falcons star receiver to get out on the field, test his ailing hamstring that he re-aggravated last week, and see if he could possibly go. But apparently Julio Jones was far enough away. He was not spotted on the field working out. Now not going to play in this game. Expect to see a lot of Calvin Ridley, potentially Hayden Hurst, the tight end, filling the void there. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, Khalil Mack has been on the injury report for a knee. He is officially active after being listed as questionable. No issues there. And then finally, for the Las Vegas Raiders, Josh Jacobs, their star running back, had a hip injury. Darren Waller, the breakout star of a tight end, had a knee injury. Both these guys, Rich, are good to go. The only thing to watch for is a little bit of a rotation as far as the running back position to spell Jacobs.
Let's keep an eye on all that. But Julio Jones is out. In case you're just tuning in, it's just another major, big-time name player, certainly in the fantasy world, that is not active in week number 3. And in terms of Barkley and Cortland Sutton on your screen, to use the Patino phrase, they're not walking through that door in the 2020 season from here on out. So let's bring back Kay Adams from Good Morning Football with all those big-name players out. A lot of people in need of a fantasy fixer-upper to help fill in the holes. Who do you have, Kay? What do you have for us today?
All right, Rich, let's Binford 5,000 this lineup at the running back spot. You just heard Ian about Josh Jacobs, potentially limited work. Who can you turn to? Obviously, you're going to put Josh Jacobs in your lineup, but we are hearing a lot of love for Devontae Freeman. I personally hesitate to let him inherit lead back duties off the jump week 1. I am much more comfortable with a guy like Mike Davis, filling in for Christian McCaffrey, not just this week, but the next several. Yes, it's a tough matchup against the Chargers defense, but he's going to get the full workload. The volume is there, and I do like the schedule after this week. He's got the Cardinals and the Falcons. Also, Jerick McKinnon. Isaac, he's trending right now. But there's so many questions about getting him in or out of lineups. No Mostert, no Coleman. He will get a healthy workload against the Giants defense that has gifted 100-yard games to Benny Snell and David Montgomery. One thing I will add here, Rich, because I fancy myself the Lord Varys of the fantasy football from Little Birds, are telling me that this Niners team really likes Jermichael Hasty. He's making his debut today. They put him up on the practice squad. So keep your eye out, fantasy owners, for Jermichael Hasty making his NFL debut.
Okay, I guess to continue that analogy about Varys, there's been a Dracarys over my entire fantasy team because I had about 3 names on that board that we just shared of all those star players to lead this segment. Now, as for running backs, who do you have? What's your running back play for today?
Okay, the guy I like the most, let's switch it up from Game of Thrones to Seinfeld. We love the Drake, Kenyon Drake. The workload is there, so is the volume. He's averaging 20 touches a week to start the season. People are down on him. I don't know why. He's the workhorse, and he's taken on the Lions. Now almost 70 yards per carry this season. That's outrageous. They will have the most total yards to running backs to start this season. I think he's an RB1 in a high-scoring game. At wide receiver, I love DK Metcalf. We saw him beat Gilmore for a 54-yard touchdown. I have all the confidence in the world. He's top 12 this week against the Cowboys and their banged-up secondary. Metcalf has at least 90 yards a game this season, a pair of touchdowns, high-scoring game. Russ should cook, and DK Metcalf should eat in the red zone. And at quarterback, quarterback Ryan Tannehill, 4 touchdowns against the Jaguars last week. He does not turn the ball over. I love the matchup against this Vikings defense. They've been the second worst in the league so far this season. I would start him over Drew Brees. I would start him over Deshaun Watson, who's taking on a tough Steelers defense. I would even start him over Carson Wentz, who I happen to like here in week 3. Kurt Warner, thoughts on Ryan Tannehill? They love to give a lot of love to Derrick Henry, but Tannehill's doing his thing out there.
Oh my gosh, Kay, this guy is maybe the most underrated player in the NFL since he took over last year. He is playing excellent football. As you said, he doesn't turn the ball over, but he's just gotten better and better and better as a passer. Now, I know Russell Wilson has kind of taken the spotlight with his 9 touchdown passes through 2 weeks, but this guy right here has 6 touchdown passes. He's second in the National Football League, and nobody's talking about him. Kay, I love this pick.
And those are your 2 cents, and your 2 cents have made some people some cash. That's for darn sure. When you're talking about daily fantasy, we'll see you on Good Morning Football, Kay. Enjoy the rest of the Week 3 action. You got it. That's KM, 7 a.m. Eastern every single day. The most watched morning show on sports television out there. Coming up next, the Watt brothers back home. Mom and Dad, or as my parents would say, my parents would fat. I don't know about the Watts, but that's coming up next.
Nó đem được cái gì? Nó đem được cái sáng kiến nào để mà đưa cái nhân loại này hai lần làm sáng gì đó. To cái nhân cách rồi, người ta mà sáng chung đi xong lại đâu. Nó đâu có làm gì đâu. Hắn chỉ bị một cái thằng của mình là copy đâu. Nó không làm gì hết được. Nhưng mà nó vẫn là cái quyền lực nó càng nó vẫn là mạnh mẽ. Thì cái người dân nghĩ là cái quyền lực đó mà ông này làm sao mà xóa bỏ được cái quyền lực của nó, là cái người dân phải đồng tâm cùng đứng lên, cùng nhau siết tay nhau đòn cái nắm tay nhau đòn cái chống lại cái chế độ cộng sản này, cũng như ông Trump ở đây nước Mỹ này chống chế độ cộng sản này. Người dân của quốc họ vẫn là đứng lên để mà chống chế độ cộng sản, nhưng mà cái sự cai trị của nó quá mạnh mẽ. Nếu không có một cái làn sóng của cái người dân của mình, không thể nào làm thay đổi cái thể chế của nó được. Cho nên mình muốn thay đổi cái đó mình phải đứng lên.
He found work as a dishwasher, a line cook, sous chef, and eventually fought to the top of one of the most challenging professions in the world, proving that there is no challenge that can hold back a fighting spirit. Since 1925, he's proved that it doesn't matter where you come from, it matters what you're made of. Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit.
Progressive presents At Home with Baker Mayfield.
Well, to me, the protagonist's dream is an allegory for the loss of youth. He wants what he can never have.
Oh, just got a text from Amy. She's not coming again.
But I brought all this cheese.
That's it. Who thinks we should vote out of the book club?
You know what? Forget Amy. But can we talk about this honeymoon scene?
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Ok, cảm ơn em rất là nhiều. Anh mời đây. Em cần ý kiến. Không có camera, anh chị nào có muốn lên thì mình bắt cái camera lên rồi mình mời lên. Còn bây giờ đợi chờ cái gì nữa? Các bạn ở trong nước không đợi chờ gì nữa hết á. Các bạn đừng có ấy. Một khi cái thể chế mà những người mà lãnh đạo mà không có cái tài năng mà đi theo cái chủ nghĩa mà gọi là dẹp bỏ. Dẹp bỏ chủ nghĩa đó đi, tại vì Trung Quốc là thằng Liên Xô đó mà nó cũng là cái nơi cha sinh mẹ đẻ của nó ra mà nó còn dẹp bỏ nữa. Nó còn dẹp bỏ cái chế độ đó nữa, cái chế độ này là cái gì? Thủ lậu.
Bridgestone Dueler tires are built to drive around the
entire
Earth 3
nào mà muốn lên mình lên, nhưng anh Chiến không có cái camera.
Now someone just needs to build the road.
Thủ lậu. Chế độ này cộng sản này, chế độ thủ lậu.
Bridgestone, official tire of the NFL.
Không tốt, không đẹp. Mà bây giờ âm thầm lặng lẽ đi làm theo người ta. Kinh thế thị trường theo định hướng xã hội chủ nghĩa trái. Trời
fresh by half a day.
Go to NFLshop.com and get free shipping.
The bold-faced name injury bug has bitten Julio Jones. As you can see, Julian Edelman, Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller are up and active, but Julio Jones joins Saquon and Christian McCaffrey and Michael Thomas as no doubt first-rounders in your fantasy league to be out in week number 3. Let's go to Pittsburgh, PA, where the winless Texans need that W today in Heinz Field, Aditi.
Rich, about an hour and a half ago, the three Watt brothers walked out onto this field, chatted for a little bit, jockeyed over positioning in a group photo, and then went their separate ways. The only one we've seen since is TJ, baby brother. Now, of course, TJ is the most serious of the three. In fact, we asked head coach Mike Tomlin this week for a true story on TJ sharing the practice field with middle brother Derek. Tomlin laughed and said, I don't think TJ talks to anybody other than fellow pass rusher Bud Dupree. Now, a year ago, TJ fell just shy of a Defensive Player of the Year trophy. This year already, he's making another case for it. And as TJ told us this week, that's a piece of hardware that big brother JJ has and isn't shy about reminding TJ that he has. Rich?
I bet. Now, only once have we ever seen a pair of brothers with first-team All-NFL credits suit up against each other in the same game. That was when Tiki and Rondé Barber faced off in 2006. Today, TJ and JJ Watt will become the second such set of brothers to do so in a game that also, as you know, registered, features their brother Derek setting up a proverbial Wattapalooza today in Pittsburgh. That required us to sit down in advance with the two people who helped make this all possible, their parents.
JJ was electric.
Electric?
Electric.
Electric. All right, that's pretty good. He was one of the most competitive young men I've ever coached.
Watt brings them down. JJ with a sack. Derek was one of the best all-around football players I have ever been associated with.
And that's saying something. After 50 years, and what he wanted to accomplish.
Good point.
Pewaukee is about 20 minutes just west of Milwaukee.
It's your typical Midwest town.
Everybody does seem to know everybody.
Law's house is one of the best spots in Pewaukee.
Yeah, we always just start with the kids would go out between the three brothers and just go out and start playing.
Là bởi vì mày ngu dốt quá, tao lóc mày thôi. Ngu! Tao lóc cho mày biết, không phải là mày khôn đâu, mày để cho người ta lóc mày. Cái mời em nói tiếp.
Wasn't Mrs. Watt feeding those boys?
Feeding the Watt boys growing up was just a big job. It was continuous.
There's always going to be steak, pork chops, something on the table at all times.
I'm pretty sure that there was always 3 gallons of milk in their fridge at all times.
I've always got to add like an extra half an hour to the workout time because something's going to become a competition. They will push each other and compete against and won't stop until there's a declared winner.
The boys were extremely competitive when they were growing up.
Yeah, when they were little, it was everything. From cutting the grass, it was
ví dụ ví dụ như mình đồng ý với nó để mấy cái chữ như là hãng như là Việt Nam mới che làm ra một cái hãng dài, hãng dép hay là chế tạo ra một cái gì đó thì để vô đó để cho người dân họ biết.
Something that I would have never in my wildest dreams thought would be possible many years ago. And now to have Derek and TJ being on one team and JJ being able to come and play against them is unbelievable.
Surreal is the best word I can use. It really is. Who would think when they were kids or when they're early teens and stuff that wow, they're actually going to play professional sports in the same field at the same time? It's just something you can't even really hope for. You know, it's just when it happens, you just gotta smile and absorb the moment and just hope for the best for all three of them.
For a team when you have sons on both teams is difficult. You just basically root for both teams.
Never the best. Mẹ không bao giờ mà người ta nhìn thẳng một cái xã hội nào mà để cái chữ đời đời. Không bao giờ mà thấy cái chữ đời đời được làm gì có cái vĩnh viễn cái đời đời, cái chân lý được. Mà phải nhớ cái thằng chó già đó mà cũng mới chịu được, còn không nhớ người khác không nhớ được. Nó công nhận nó thiệt không ai thiệt. Mà vậy đó nó bỏ ra 11 tỷ. Rồi cái người dân á, cứ lấy cái đồng thuế người dân của cái thằng đảng, mấy thằng đảng bộ ở đó đâu, mấy thằng chủ tịch ở đó đâu, ở thành phố đó đâu. Tại sao mà nó không lên tiếng? Tao để 11 tỷ để ông đưa cho tôi nè, để tôi xây cái bệnh viện ở khu vực của tôi nè, trường học của tôi nè. Chứ bác tại sao mấy ông cứ ông Hồ không rõ lai lịch, chưa biết ông là cái người Việt hay là người
Okay,
Tàu.
there's Odell, there's Baker Mayfield coming off of the big Week 2 Thursday night win to get them their first win of the season. That was against the Bengals. What about the Washington football team today? Who's winning today? Two games, two lone
Đừng nói tập quá nhiều quá, nói sơ sơ vậy cho nó giữ cái diễn đàn trong sạch.